Welcome to the second part of Maths chapter GST, Goods and Services Tax. So, in the first part of the chapter, we focused on the theory behind GST, how it works, and you know why government has decided to implement GST in the whole country, and how to calculate GST. What are the different types of GST which are collected? So in this second part, all the questions are based on the application of GST. That is, here we are going to see real life examples and calculate GST in each different example. Let's start with the first question. Let A, B, and C be three traders belonging to different states. Okay, so one thing is very clear that trader A, trader B, and trader C all belong to different states. Okay, so suppose trader A belongs to Maharashtra, trader B belongs to Kerala, and trader C belongs to, let's say, MP. Okay, they are all from different states. So here the kind of GST which will be applicable will be IGST. IGST will be applicable over here. Okay. Trader A sells some goods or services to trader B for rupees 500. So A to B. Okay. So trader A to B, the goods which are sold at the so we can say that selling price for trader B is equal to rupees 500. All right, and trader B sells some goods or services to trader C at a profit of rupees 200. Okay, so trader B sells the same goods to trader C at a profit of 200. So selling price of, actually I should have written cost price over here, cost price of trader B, and here also I should have written cost price of trader C. How much is the cost price for trader C? See, trader B is selling the same goods to trader C at a profit of 200. So trader B would add 200 on this 500 rupees and would sell it to trader C at rupees 700 rupees. Calculate the tax liability of B if rate of GST is 12%. Rate of GST is equal to 12%. So tax liability. So first method I'm going to show you, tax liability of trader B is equal to tax collected minus tax paid. Tax collected minus tax paid. Okay, so if we want to use this method, then we have to find what is the tax collected and what is the tax paid. Now tax is always collected from the end user. Okay, end user is C. Now not in you can say real sense, because C is also a trader, so C is also going to sell it further, but here in this link of this commercial chain, the end user is C. So tax is collected from C and tax is paid to A. Okay, so how much tax is collected from C? So what price is C buying the goods or services from trader B? Trader C is buying the goods or services from trader B at rupees 700. So the tax collected from C will be 12%. Okay, so 12% of 700 is the tax collected, minus what is the tax paid to A? It will be tax paid to A will be 12% of 500 rupees, because in 500 trader B buys the goods or services from trader A. We can simplify this by writing 12% of 700 minus 500, that is 12% of 200. Okay, so 12% of 200 is rupees 24. So trader B pays the tax, total net tax of rupees 24. That is the tax liability of trader B. Okay, now there is one more method from with which you can find this tax liability of trader B. I will just show you over here. See, tax liability of trader B is equal to tax on value addition. So what is the value addition? If you look closely, you will see the value addition. Trader B bought the goods at 500 and he sold the goods at 700. So what is the value which is added? Value added is the profit, and the profit is of 200 rupees, which they have clearly mentioned in the question. Trader B sells the same goods or services to trader C at a profit of 200. So that is the value addition. So on that value addition, we will charge the tax. So that is 12% of 200, which is 12 upon 100 multiplied by 200. You can calculate it, rupees 24, which is the same as we got earlier. So tax liability of trader B is rupees 24. Now, since they have not asked that what will be the amount of IGST, CGST, SGST, we don't have to mention anything. Just write tax liability of trader B is 24 and finish it. Right? So did you understand the method, the statements and everything? If it is clear, then go ahead. If it is not clear, have a look at what I've said all over again. You can replay that video, that part of the video. Okay, let's go to the next question. Also try to pause the video and solve it, because that will clear that concept in your mind. Solving the whole question with the video, it's always helpful. A product sold from Kanpur, UP to Banaras, which is also in UP, for rupees 12,000, and then from Banaras to Ranchi, Ranchi is in Jharkhand, okay, at a profit of rupees 4,000. Okay, so let's say there are three places. The first place, the first trader at the first place is in Kanpur, which is in UP, sells it to second person B, who is in Banaras, which is also in UP, who sells it to the third person, who is in Ranchi, which is in Jharkhand. Okay, so this is the whole scenario. Now, when the product is sold from Kanpur to Banaras, it is sold for rupees 12,000. Okay, so here cost price of B is equal to rupees 12,000. Cost price of the product for the person in Banaras is rupees 12,000. And when this product, the same product is sold from Banaras to Jharkhand, it is sold at a profit of 4,000. Okay, so we can say that cost price of C, who is in Jharkhand, for him the cost price would be 16,000. 16,000, right? Profit of 4,000. If the rate of GST is 18%, find the net GST payable at Banaras. If the rate of GST is 18%, find the net GST payable at Banaras. Okay. So rate of GST is equal to 18%. What is the net GST payable at Banaras? Now again, Banaras is the middle link in the whole chain, which we are seeing over here. The middle link, right? So trader B, who is at Banaras, his tax liability can be calculated very easily, just like the previous question. The trader B, who was in Kerala, he paid the tax his tax liability was tax collected minus tax paid. You remember that. Now, it was also found using another method, that is tax on value addition. So you have two methods now, right? You can use any of the two methods to find the tax liability of trader B. What are they saying? Find the net GST payable. See, tax liability can also be called net GST payable. So I will now write it like this. Therefore, net GST payable is equal to tax collected minus tax paid. So remember that tax is being collected from C and tax is being paid to A, right? So net GST payable at Banaras by B is tax collected, which is 18% of 16,000 minus tax paid, which is 18% of 12,000. You can write it as 18% of 16,000 minus 12,000, which is 18% of 4,000, which is 18 upon 100 multiplied by 4,000. So both the zeros get cut. 18 fours are 72, and there is one more zero, so 720 rupees. Rupees 720 is the tax liability or net GST payable at Banaras. Rupees 720. Yes, it is correct. You understood now? Is it easy to understand? So always remember that if you make the chain of the commercial chain, that is whichever is mentioned in the question, that the product or goods or services are going from A to B to C, then the whole picture will become very clear, and you will know that at each link of this chain, what is the cost price, who is buying what at what cost, right? If you mention that, then it is very easy to find out. Correct? Let's go to the next question. An article an article sold from Jaipur, Rajasthan to Indore, Madhya Pradesh for rupees 5,000, and then from Indore to Bhopal. So article is sold from Jaipur to Indore, which is in MP, for rupees 5,000, and from Indore to Bhopal, which is also in Madhya Pradesh, MP. If the rate of tax under GST system is 18% and the profit made by the dealer in Indore, which is in middle, is 2,000, find the net GST payable by the dealer in Indore. Easy. So again, we'll start by making a chain. The first dealer is A, who is in Jaipur, Rajasthan. Okay. The second dealer is B, who is in Indore, MP. The third dealer is C, who is in Bhopal, which is also in MP. So here we have been given that article was sold from Jaipur to Indore for rupees 5,000. So cost price of article for dealer B, who is in Indore, is equal to rupees 5,000. What next? This article was sold to another dealer in Bhopal from Indore for 2,000 profit, right? Profit made by the dealer in Indore is 2,000. So cost price of article for C is equal to rupees 7,000. Okay, find the net GST payable by the dealer in Indore. Therefore, net GST payable by dealer in Indore is equal to net GST payable by the dealer in Indore is equal to tax. I won't write tax, I will write GST. GST collected minus GST paid. That is, the rate of GST is 18%. So 18% of 7,000 minus 18% of 5,000, which is 18% of 7,000 minus 5,000, which is 18% of 2,000, which is 18 upon 100 multiplied by 2,000, which is 18 multiplied by 20, which is rupees 360. So 360 is the net GST payable by the dealer in Indore. Okay, what is the cost price for article in Bhopal? That's the second question. So this is the first question, and the second question is cost price of article, cost price for article in Bhopal, for the dealer in Bhopal. Okay, so see, the dealer in Bhopal is buying the article for rupees 7,000 but also paying a GST. So cost price of article for dealer in Bhopal is equal to rupees 7,000 plus 18% of 7,000. So 7,000 plus, let's find what is 18% of 7,000. 18% of 7,000 will be 18 divided by 100 multiplied by 7,000. So two zeros will cut and we'll have 18 multiplied by 70. So 18 sevens is 126. So it will be 1260. 1260 will be 18% of 7,000. So it will be rupees 8260. What is 8260? CP of article for dealer in Bhopal. That's the second answer, which is not given over here, but this is the second answer. So these kind of you can say supplementary problems can also be asked, which are very, very straightforward. Overall, till now, the questions which they are asking are kind of like you can say mostly focused on finding the net GST payable. Okay, so that is based on the formula tax collected minus tax paid, or tax on the value addition. That is also fair. Let's go to the next question. Let A, B, and C be three dealers okay, there is little less space, but it's okay. Yeah. Let A, B, and C be three dealers in a GST chain. A buys some goods or services for rupees 2,000 and sells it to B at a profit of 500. B in turn sells the same goods or services to C at a profit of 1,000. Taking the rate of GST as 18%, find the input tax payable by dealer A, input tax payable by dealer B. See, input tax payable means tax paid. Tax paid while buying, that is the input tax. And output tax is tax collected. Tax collected minus tax paid. Output tax minus input tax is the net GST. Okay, so total cost price for dealer C also we have to find if he is the end user, and output GST for dealer C, that is the end user. Okay, let's first draw a chain and try to understand what is happening. So there are three people, three dealers. A, B, C. Okay, three people involved in this commercial chain. A buys some goods for rupees 2000. So cost price for A of goods, cost price of goods for A is equal to rupees 2000, and sells it to B at a profit of 500. So cost price of goods is equal to rupees 2500. Okay. In turn sells the same goods to C at a profit of 1000. Okay. So cost price of goods is equal to rupees 3500. Great. So at each point we know the cost price. So when I say that the cost price of goods for B is 2500, what does that mean? That means that the selling price of the goods for A is 2500, and that means the profit of A is 500 rupees. Okay, so these things can be very easily made out from whatever information I have written over here. Okay, find the input tax payable by dealer A. Okay, so input tax paid by A is equal to 18% of 2000. 18% of 2000, that is 18 upon 100 multiplied by 2000. So 0 will cut, and this will become 360 rupees. Input tax paid by A is equal to 360 rupees. Okay. Next, input tax payable by dealer B. Okay. Input tax paid by B is equal to 18%. See, input tax is always paid on the cost price at which you are buying an article. So 18% of 2500, that is the cost price of B. So 18 upon 100 multiplied by 2500. So we have to multiply 18 and 25. Let's do it. So 18 multiplied by 25 is 450. So rupees 450 is the input tax paid by dealer B. The total cost price for dealer C. So total CP for C is equal to 3500 plus 18% of 3500. That is 3500 plus 18 upon 100 multiplied by 3500. So both the zeros will cut. So 3500 plus 18 multiplied by 35. 18 multiplied by 35 is 630. So we have 4130. This is the total cost price for C, including the tax paid by him. Okay. And what is the output GST for dealer C? That is the end user. Okay. So output GST. See, output GST means tax collected. So is dealer C collecting any tax? No, because he is the end user. End user do not collect any tax, because end users are the people who are using that goods for themselves. Okay, so you must write this way. Since dealer C is the end user, since dealer C is the end user, tax collected by him is equal to 0. Okay, now let's check the answer. Rupees 360, rupees 450, 4130, and rupees 0, all are correct. Understood the method? It's very easy. So you can make a chain like this, and with small statements you can you find your own all answers. Okay, so it doesn't become too messy. A dealer in UP in Agra supplies goods or services worth rupees 1000 to a dealer in Jhansi who's in UP. The dealer in Jhansi supplies the same goods or services to a dealer in Mumbai at a profit of 600. Okay. Uh, a dealer in Agra supplies goods worth rupees 1000 to a dealer in UP, Jhansi, and then okay, so the cost price for the goods for the dealer in Jhansi, who's in UP, uh, is 1000, and then the cost price for the goods for the dealer in Mumbai is rupees 1600 because there is a profit of 600 involved. Assuming that the dealer in Mumbai is the end user of the product, find and the rate of GST is 12%. Find the input tax payable by the dealer in Jhansi, output tax payable by the dealer in, actually output tax is always collected, not payable, by the dealer in Jhansi, and net GST payable by the dealer in Jhansi, and total CP for the dealer in Mumbai. Okay, it's very easy. So the first dealer A is in Agra, UP. The second dealer B is in Jhansi, also in UP. Now you must be thinking that if there is no mention of IGST, CGST, SGST, then why we are writing the states? See, there is no mention in this question, but we should always be prepared that if the amount of SGST, CGST or IGST has been asked, then we should be able to answer that promptly without being able to confused regarding the same. That's why we must mention that where each of the dealer is located, so that you know that you have the clarity of the situation. Otherwise you yourself will get confused. So the end user, who is C, is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Okay, let's start. Now they have given that cost price of B. A dealer in Agra supplies goods worth rupees 1000 to a dealer in Jhansi. So cost price of B is rupees 1000. Then cost price of C. Now the dealer in Jhansi supplies the same goods or services to a dealer in Mumbai at a profit of 600. So cost price of C is equal to rupees 1600. 1000 plus 600. Assuming that the dealer in Mumbai is the end user and the rate of GST is 12%. Rate of GST is equal to 12%. Find the input tax payable by dealer in Jhansi. Number 1. Input tax paid by B, that is the dealer in Jhansi, is equal to 12% of 1000. Is buying it for 1000 rupees, right? Yeah, so 12 upon 100 multiplied by 1000, which is rupees 120. Second, we have to find output tax payable to dealer in Jhansi, not by. It should be output tax payable to dealer in Jhansi. Output tax or tax collected payable to B is equal to 12%. Who will pay this output tax? The person in Mumbai. And for how much he is buying the article? 1600. So 12% of 1600 will be paid by the dealer in Mumbai to the dealer in Jhansi. Okay, let's find out what is 12 multiplied by 16. 192 rupees. 192 is the tax collected by B. Net GST payable by the dealer in Jhansi. Number 3. Net GST payable by the dealer in Jhansi. That is B is equal to, see, I'm going to write this formula, the same formula, tax collected minus tax paid in another way. Output tax minus input tax. Output tax minus input tax. What is output tax minus input tax? 192 minus 120. That is 72 rupees. 72 rupees is the net GST payable by the dealer in Jhansi. Okay, now what is the total cost price for the dealer in Mumbai? That is the fourth question. I'm going to solve it here. Total cost price payable by the dealer in Mumbai. Now, just to ask you, what is the output tax payable to be by the dealer in Mumbai? 192 rupees, right? So total CP for dealer in Mumbai, total CP for dealer in Mumbai is equal to rupees 1600 plus 192. 1600 is the cost price and 192 is the tax paid by the dealer in Mumbai. So this is rupees 1792. Correct? So all the answers are correct. I hope you understood the method. Let's go to the next question. The marked price of an article is rupees 9,000 and the rate of GST on it is rupees 18%. A shopkeeper buys this article at a reduced price and sells it at its marked price. Okay, so shopkeeper is buying this article from some wholesaler maybe, and at a price which is lower than 9,000, reduced price, and sells it at 9,000. Okay, if the shopkeeper paid rupees 162 as CGST to the government, CGST to the government, okay, find the amount inclusive of GST paid by the shopkeeper. Okay, good question actually. See how I'm solving it. Let shopkeeper, let the CP of shopkeeper be rupees X. Let the cost price of shopkeeper be rupees X. So he is buying this article at rupees X, which is of course less than 9,000. Therefore, now shopkeeper paid rupees 162 as CGST. That is the whole idea. And the rate of GST is 18%. Therefore, GST paid by shopkeeper is equal to 18% of X. Yeah, definitely. If he's buying the article for rupees X, he also has to pay some GST. That is 18 upon 100 multiplied by X. That is 18X upon 100. Okay, so this is the GST paid by the shopkeeper, out of which the shopkeeper has paid 162 rupees as CGST to the government. Now CGST is paid to which government? CGST is paid to central government, and always remember GST gets divided equally among central government as CGST and state government as SGST. So if the tax has been divided equally, therefore CGST payable to central government is equal to 18x by 100 divided by 2, that is 18x by 200 rupees. 18x by 200 rupees. ठीक है, CGST payable to central government is rupees 18x by 200 rupees. Now we know that, see, what we have done is we have taken the total GST paid by the shopkeeper and we have divided into half. So we got the CGST payable to central government. Now we can say that therefore 18x by 200 is equal to 162, because he is paying rupees 162 as CGST, and therefore we can say that x is equal to 162 into 200 divided by 18. Now I think 18 nines is 162. 18 multiplied by 9, yeah, it is 162, right? So 18 nines is 162 and 9 twos is 18, so x is equal to rupees 1800. But does that look legitimate to you? I don't think it is legitimate. I don't think it is legitimate, because find the amount inclusive of GST paid by the shopkeeper. There is some mistake in this question, I feel, because X is coming to be 1800, whereas the marked price of article is 9000. Nobody would get product of 9000 in 1800 rupees. So there has to be some mistake in the question. Like I think this is 1620. It should be 1620. Let's take it as 1620 and understand. Okay, so we'll take it as 1620. So this will be 90 and x will be equal to 9 twos are 18. Hey, no, then it will become 18,000. So that is also not possible, because the product is already costing 9,000 and as its marked price, and it cannot be reduced. Let's find out what is the issue, because this is a solved example, so we can find out. I have the textbook, 12th question. Hey, that is okay. CGST paid to the government is 162. So 18%, right? So yeah, I divided it. How come they are getting 7,200? Did I make some mistake? Let me check again. Okay, so let the shopkeeper buy the article for rupees X. So GST paid by shopkeeper is 18% of X. That is 18x by 100, because 18 upon 100 into X. And CGST payable to central government is 18x by 200. And this 18x by 200 is equal to 162. So 162 multiplied by 200 upon 18 is X, and 9 to the 18, so 1800. It has to be 1800. How come they are getting 7200? So what have they done? Or we did not understand the question properly. I have to check again. The mark price of article is 9,000. The rate of GST is 18%. A shopkeeper buys this article at a reduced price and sells it at its mark price. Okay. If the shopkeeper paid rupees 162 as CGST to the government, find the amount inclusive of GST paid to the shopkeeper. Okay, so CGST paid to the government is 162. Yeah, SGST will also be 162 and total GST will be 324. So 18% of. Oh my God, I understood. I understood. If the shopkeeper paid 162 as CGST, so this is net tax paid, net tax paid actually. But they have not written it, they have not mentioned it. How come they are not mentioning it? Okay, okay, okay. It's okay, no problem. So yes, there is a mistake. Definitely there is a mistake. So always remember, maybe the misunderstanding is from my side. I did not understand the question properly. The net GST, that is, net GST is tax collected minus tax paid. Tax collected minus tax paid is the net GST, which gets subdivided into two parts. And this part is 162 rupees, so this part will also be 162 rupees. Remember that. Okay, so yeah, talking about my mistake, now I'm going to do it separately all over again with a different method, because now we know that. Okay, yeah, so till here it was correct. GST paid by the shopkeeper was 18% of X. What was the GST collected by the shopkeeper? GST collected by shopkeeper is equal to 18% of 9,000. Why 18% of 9,000? Because he is selling this article at its mark price. So he will collect GST on rupees 9,000 at which he is selling this article. So two zeros cut over here. 18 nines are 162, 1620. 1620 will be the GST collected by shopkeeper. Okay, now net tax payable by shopkeeper is equal to GST collected minus GST paid. Now remember one thing, net tax payable by the shopkeeper. See, he is paying rupees 162 as CGST, and as I told you, CGST and SGST both are 162. So net tax paid by the shopkeeper is 162 plus 162, that is 364. So I will write 2 into 162 is the net tax paid. GST collected is rupees 1620 minus GST paid is rupees 18x by 100. Okay, so what is this? This is 324 is equal to 1620 minus 18x by 100, or 18x by 100 is equal to 1620 minus 324. Okay, so this will be 1600 minus 300 is 1300. 1300, 1620 minus 320 is 1300, minus 4 is 1296. So 18x by 100 is equal to 1296. So x is equal to 1296 multiplied by 100 upon 18. Let us divide 1296 by 18. 1296 divided by 18 is 72. 72 multiplied by 100 is 7200. So x is equal to rupees 7200. So that reduced price in which the cost shopkeeper bought the article was 7200. Now what they have asked is find the amount inclusive of GST paid by the shopkeeper. And now we know that GST paid by the shopkeeper is 18x by 100. So amount paid by shopkeeper, therefore amount paid by shopkeeper is equal to 7200 plus 18 upon 100 into 7200. So 7200 plus 18 multiplied by 72. 18 multiplied by 72 is 1296. Yeah, we already got 1296. So it will be 8496. Rupees 8496 is the total amount paid by the shopkeeper inclusive of GST. Okay, so the only issue which I faced in this question that I did not understood it properly at the first go, because they did not say that a shopkeeper paid rupees 162 as net CGST. They did not use the word net. So I thought that that is the tax paid. No, that is not tax paid. That is the net tax collected paid by the shopkeeper. Okay, so we understood that now. Let's go ahead. A manufacturer in Delhi manufactures a machine and marks it at rupees 60,000. He sells the machine to a wholesaler in Patna at a discount of 20%. Okay, so the whole story starts from Delhi. So A, who is in Delhi, B, who is in Patna. Where is Patna? Bihar. Okay. And the wholesaler sells this machine to a dealer in Agra. C, who is in Agra, which is in UP. So the mark price marked by the manufacturer in Delhi is 60,000. Okay, so let me write it as okay, the mark price. I don't know where should I write the mark price, but let me read the question ahead. He sells this machine to a wholesaler in Patna at a discount of 20%. So okay, let me write in the first link the cost price of machine for B. Now who is B? B is the wholesaler in Patna. It is 20% less than the mark price, because the manufacturer is selling this machine at a discount of 20% to the wholesaler in Patna. So cost price of machine for B is equal to 60,000 minus 20% of 60,000. Okay, 60,000 minus, see, 20% of 60,000 is 12,000. So cost price of machine for B will be 48,000. Okay, now this wholesaler in Patna sells the machine to a dealer in Agra at a discount of 10% on the mark price. Great. So we can write that. Let me just make some more space. Yes. Okay, this is not part of this question. Okay, so I will write cost price of machine for C. Who is C? C is the dealer in Agra. Dealer, right? Who is that? Dealer in Agra, correct. So cost price of machine for C, who is a dealer in Agra, is 10% less than the mark price, because the wholesaler in Patna is giving 10% discount on the mark price to the dealer in Agra. So 60,000 minus 10% of 60,000, that is 60,000 minus 10% of 60,000 is 6,000, that is 54,000. So rupees 54,000 is the cost price of machine for the dealer in Agra. If the rate of GST is 28%, find the tax paid by the wholesaler to the central government. Okay, so rate of GST is equal to 28%. Therefore, net GST paid by a wholesaler B, wholesaler is the B, right, is equal to GST collected minus GST paid. Okay, so how much GST is he collecting? So he is selling the machine to the dealer in Agra for rupees 54,000. So GST collected is 28% of 54,000 minus what is the GST paid? GST paid is 28% of 48,000. 28% of 48,000. Why? Because the wholesaler B is buying the machine for 48,000 rupees. So 28% of 54,000 minus 48,000. So what is 50? 28 upon 100 multiplied. What is 54,000 minus 48,000? 54,000 minus 48,000 is I think 6,000. Correct? 6,000. 48 plus 6 is 54. So zeros will cut. 28 6 is 28 multiplied by 60 basically. 28 multiplied by 60, 1680. So net GST paid by the wholesaler B to the government is rupees 1680 on this whole transaction. Let's check. 1680. Easy. This question was quite simple. Okay, next question. A dealer in Bihar buys an article for rupees 5,000 from a dealer B in Punjab. Okay, the dealer, okay, so the chain starts from dealer B who is in Punjab. Dealer B sells this article to dealer A who is in Bihar, and the dealer A in turn sells this article to dealer C who is in the same state. Okay, that means Bihar. Okay, if the rate of GST at each stage is 18%, find the price including GST paid by dealer A. Find the price including GST paid by dealer A. Great. And the second question is the price including GST paid by. How come they are asking the same question twice? Let me check the question, please. Oh, price including GST paid by dealer C. That's what we have to find. So this is dealer C. Okay. So dealer A in Bihar buys the article for rupees 5,000 from a dealer B in Punjab. Okay, so here I'm going to write cost price for dealer A is equal to rupees 5,000. Okay, the dealer A sells this article for rupees 6,000 to a dealer C. Okay, so cost price for dealer C is equal to rupees 6,000. If the rate of GST at each stage is 18%, rate of GST at each stage is 18%, find the price including GST paid by dealer A. Find the price including GST paid by dealer A at, okay, the price including GST paid by dealer A. Okay, great, we can find that. Price including GST paid by dealer A is equal to 5,000 plus 18% of 5,000, that is 5,000 plus 18 upon 100 multiplied by 5,000, that is 5,000 plus 900 rupees, 5,900. That is the price including GST paid by dealer A. What is the price including GST paid by dealer C? Okay, that also we can find. Dealer C is in the same state, but yeah, he will definitely pay GST. So second one is price including GST paid by C is equal to 18%, sorry, 6,000 plus 18% of 6,000. 6,000 plus 18 upon 100 multiplied by 6,000. 0, 0 will cut. 6,000 plus 18 6 is 108, because 18 5 is 90 and 90 plus 18 is 108. Okay, so this will be 108. So this will be rupees 6108. Right, so 5900 and 6108. Hey, 7080. How we are getting 7080? The dealer A sells the article for rupees 6,000 to dealer C. So dealer C 6,000 plus 18% of 6,000, that is yes, I think there is a mistake. 18 6 is 108, but there is a 0 over here. Yes, see, so silly mistakes are very dangerous. You need to be extra careful. So rupees 7080. That is the correct answer. Let's go ahead. The next question. Okay, I think we are just left with two questions now. Mohit, Rajiv, and Geeta live in the same city. Mohit sells an article to Rajiv for rupees 50,000, and Rajiv sells this same article to Geeta at a profit of 60,000. Okay, so Mohit, Rajiv, and Geeta. That's the link. That's the chain in this commercial link. Mohit to Rajiv to Geeta. Okay. So Mohit sells an article to Rajiv for rupees 50,000. So cost price for Rajiv is equal to rupees 50,000. That's the first thing which we know. And Rajiv sells this article to Geeta at a profit of 6,000. So cost price for Geeta is equal to rupees 56,000. Okay. If all the transactions are under GST system at the rate of 12%, find the state government tax SGST paid by Rajiv. State government tax paid by Rajiv. Okay, I think for finding the state government tax, first we need to find the tax liability of Rajiv. Okay, so net GST paid by Rajiv is equal to tax collected minus tax paid. If you want to find SGST, that means that will come from the net GST which is paid by Rajiv. That is tax collected minus tax paid, or GST collected minus GST paid. So Rajiv will collect GST from Geeta, and that is under 12%. Okay, so 12% of 56,000, because Geeta buys the article in 56,000 from Rajiv, and Rajiv will pay tax to Mohit on 50,000. So that is 12% of 50,000. So that is 12% of 56,000 minus 50,000. That is 12% of 6,000. That is 12 upon 100 multiplied by 6,000. So this will be 7200, right? So net GST paid by Rajiv is equal to 7,200. Okay, out of this 7,200, Rajiv is going to pay SGST and CGST. Therefore, total GST, let me write this way. Net GST is equal to CGST plus SGST. And CGST and SGST are always equal. Therefore, what we have to find? SGST, right? Therefore, SGST is equal to net GST upon 2, that is 7,200 upon 2, that is 3,600. Am I correct? Is it 7,200 or 720? No, sorry. I'm sorry, it is 720. Again, I'm making a mistake. So this is 720, and this will also be 720, and this will be 360. Let me correct that. 720 and 360. Okay, so SGST paid by Rajiv is 360 rupees. That is correct. The total tax received by the central government, that is CGST. Okay, so see, there are two parties who are paying tax to the government. One is Rajiv and one is Geeta. From Rajiv, the government is receiving tax of rupees 360. That is SGST and CGST. Okay, so the total tax received from Rajiv is 720. Let's find out the total tax received by the government from Geeta. So let's write it over here. Total tax collected by government from Geeta is equal to 12% of 56,000. That is 12 upon 100 multiplied by 56,000 0 0 cut, so this will be 12 multiplied by 560. Okay, so 12 multiplied by 560 is rupees 6720. Okay, now out of rupees 6720, net tax collected by central government, that is CGST, is equal to 6720 divided by 2, which is 3620. No, 3360, I think. 3360. 3360. That is the net tax collected by the central government in the whole transaction. Okay, the total tax received by central government is 3360. Now see, you must be wondering that why we have not added this 360 to this net tax collected by the government from Gita, because it is already added over here. Because Geeta is the end user, so she is going to pay all the tax to the government, and in between, whoever is uh, a part of this transaction, they are also paying tax, but they are paying tax only on the addition of the value. So the final tax which is paid to the government will be paid by Geeta, because she is the end user. So end user, who is the final consumer, takes the liability of paying all the tax. Always remember that. How much does Geeta pay for the article? Okay, that's the final answer, so we can easily answer that. Total amount paid by Geeta. Okay, total amount paid by Geeta is equal to 56,000 plus 6720. 6720 is the tax paid by Geeta. So that is 62,720. This is the total amount which Geeta pays for buying this article from Rajiv. 62,720. So I hope you understood the small details of this chapter. Okay, let's go to the last question. The chapter is over, almost over. A shopkeeper sells an article. A shopkeeper sells an article for rupees 1170 with GST 18%. With GST, okay? I don't know what is with GST. A customer willing to buy this article asks the shopkeeper to reduce the price of the article so that he pays only rupees 1888. Okay, so the customer gives an offer to shopkeeper that I'm going to pay only 1888. You consider it with GST, without GST, whatever you want to consider. If this article is costing 1770, I will pay 1888 including GST. If the shopkeeper agrees for this, how much reduction will the shopkeeper give? Now see, the reduction will not be given in GST. The reduction will be given in the selling price, right? So that reduction we have to find. So now let's take that. Let the selling price of, let the reduced selling price, I'm sorry, reduced or discounted selling price be rupees X. So X plus 18% of X is equal to 1888. What is this? This is the amount paid by whom? By the customer. Let me make some space here. Amount paid by the customer is x plus 18% of x, which is 1888. Let's solve this. X plus 18 upon 100 multiplied by x is 1888. So x plus 18x upon 100 is equal to 1888. So 100x plus 18x upon 100 is equal to 1888. So 118x is equal to 188800. So x is equal to 188800 upon 118. Okay. So 188800 divided by, do you hear that? That's thunder right now. There's a thunderstorm with huge rain outside. Okay, so divided by 118, and that is 1600. Okay, so x is equal to rupees 1600. So the reduced selling price of the article is 1600. So what is the reduction? What is the reduction? We can find it easily. Reduction is equal to mark price minus selling price. Mark price is 1770, selling price is 1600, that is rupees 170. Rupees 170 is the reduction. Okay, so yes, this is how you solve this question. Very simple actually. So the chapter is over. I have solved all the solved examples for you, and I hope the concept of GST is very clear now. It will not be 100% clear till you solve the whole exercises, all the exercises. So finish all the exercises and submit it when I give you the date of submission, and whatever doubts you have, we will clear it and then we'll move ahead. Now we are trying to complete sizable syllabus of mathematics, and after that will move to physics and then to chemistry. Okay, so let's focus on mathematics for at least 4 to 5 chapters now, and then we'll move to physics and then chemistry. Okay, so that is the plan. See you in the next video. Bye bye.